perfect way. You no longer exist, you're no longer in my
Welcome to AfterMat, your source for WWE pay-per-view recaps. I'm your host, the People's Champ Cal, and alongside me as always, I have my tag team partner, the glamorous Anjulie, and her little sidekick as well, Rose. How are you doing, Alicia and Rose?
Oh, hello. I have come to realize that I am legit getting old, or I have reached peak adultness because I now have an Alexa controlled light bulb, and I love it. And now I want more. I want to put them in every light socket in this house.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I have. As soon as I had one in my room, and then now my whole house is not my whole house, but a lot of my house is automated. Like when I walk around, the lights just turn on and stuff, and like temperature and everything is controlled by it as well. It's pretty cool. I like it.
Yeah,
Um,
we have reached peak adulthood.
As long as it's not peak technology, because I think technology will always improve. But what
Yeah.
also can improve, or I guess from now on, right, is tonight we're talking about Summerslam 2022. But what can improve from there is like we were just talking about before we went live. Is that now the new era starts with Triple H being creative, along with Stephanie McMahon and stuff, with Vince McMahon era kind of finally being over, kind of culminating with SummerSlam because this was kind of like the storylines that he kind of last minute, I guess, produced and all that. But now it's going to be all Stephanie and Vince. I mean, Stephanie and Triple H from now on. And with that new era, I will open up a new beer. That it's not we're not sponsored or anything, but I am opening up the Stone Cold Broken Skull American Lager. I've had the IPA before, so here's hoping to a good new run in WWE. Not that I had any problems with the other one, but a lot of people are excited about this new run. Delisha, I know you want to say a few words about it, but what did you think about it? Before we get into SummerSlam, I know you had a few words you wanted to say about it.
Oh yeah, I am hoping that not that this turns into like a version of like the black and gold brand of NXT, but bringing that sort of like flair, not Ric Flair, not please God no, but that kind of like Triple H stamp on it where he actually does care about the wrestling aspect of the world wrestling entertainment that is WWE, but also giving us like good storylines and long-term story booking is what he is a fan of. To where I don't know if people have heard some rumors that a lot of times in the creative room with Vince McMahon, he would forget storyline that they already done or what they did like 2 weeks before, and so just with little things like that, that definitely shows itself in the product of WWE. And as I was saying before, we've definitely voiced our um, discontentment of some of the storylines or not or lack of storylines in the last couple of years, or how they do women, how they do tag team division, which are also things that Triple H are fans of, which is the women's division and tag team wrestling. So I'm actually pretty hopeful. I think last week I don't know what the actual ratings were, but they did go up. With the news of Vince stepping down and Triple H and Stephanie, and of course Nick Khan stepping in. Although it pretty much is more Triple H and Stephanie doing the more day to day wrestling part, where it looks like Nick Khan handles more the board of directors, financial, that strain part, what he was brought in to do. So it's very hopeful. Tonight and going forward is kind of like the actual kind of start of this new era. As you were saying, like Vince still had some storylines that he had written or whatever, or approved of, I should say. I don't know how much he actually writes, but of closing that door. Although I did hear there were some adjustments to the card that was made. We'll talk. I'll hopefully remember to mention those as we go through the card. But there were some changes that were made of what Vince wanted to do versus what was actually done. So Yeah, all in all, it's a pretty exciting time to be a wrestling fan as well, because with this, hopefully, Triple H was another guy who was not opposed to working with other smaller wrestling companies, so you might never know what other signings we may get. And also, this might raise the competition level, and competition is good. That means other products of wrestling will also be good to also try to compete in that market, or it all might come crashing and burning down. We don't know, and that's the exciting part. We don't know what to expect.
You know, knowing Vince McMahon, because I know him personally, and he watches the show and he calls me about it and stuff.
You're not that far from the New York office of Connecticut.
Yeah, so I feel like if he thinks that things are not going well, he'll just step back into the role, assume the role. I'm sure he has something written to his contract, or he could just be like, "This is my creation. I can do whatever I want with it." He'll probably give him some time. If he doesn't feel like it's going his way, he might be like, "Hey, this is what I want to do. So we're gonna go back to it." Or I'm sure he still has his voice being heard in the
And he's still a
boardroom.
majority shareholder of the company.
Yeah, but storyline and creative, we'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
But with that said, let's talk about SummerSlam. Felicia, what do you think of the show overall? Because I saw mixed opinions over on Twitter. But what do you think overall?
There were some matches I was looking forward to, some matches that I really liked, and there were some matches that were still good, but I just still didn't care just because of the build up to it or the match itself happening. But overall, I wasn't like bored during the whole time, which I really wouldn't expect from one of the big four, with SummerSlam being the number three of the four. So I was expecting a solid show, and I think we got a really good product overall.
Yeah, for me, like I wasn't really disappointed with. Well, I was only disappointed with one match, but for the most part, that one match, we expected to be bad. The one that we always dread covering, but with my hometown girl
I think
being
Rocket Rumor was that. No, I'm
yeah,
just playing.
and like the funny thing is we always switch off so we don't have to like suffer with it. But with my girl, from Jersey being on, I'd like to cover her, in more ways than one, I guess. But it feels like that, that was the only match I felt like I wouldn't enjoy, and we'll see if that was the case when I get to it. Other than that, I don't think I was disappointed at all in the show. First match of the evening is for the Raw Women's Championship, featuring the Raw Women's Champion Bianca Belair against Becky Lynch in their third show off, first since the repeat of their match in SummerSlam last year when Becky came back from being pregnant, right? So, Alicia.
Mhm. Yeah, so this was a match to come full circle, like you just mentioned from last year, where unfortunately Becky came back and squashed Bianca in like 26, 27 seconds. I one we did it that was the point of a story that would be probably one of the long term booking decisions they've had in the last um couple of years that to actually pay off. And so this was, depending on what will happen, it could be a redemption for Becky or from her losing streak, or just redemption for Bianca for that loss that she took back at SummerSlam. But from the jump, they were pretty physical. Of course, Bianca's going to bring the strongness from her in athleticism, where I mean, Bianca's going to be bring the strong and the athleticism, where Becky is more kind of like a little technical with a little spice thrown into her repertoire, but also she knows she can bring the strength as well if she needs it. And but they would quickly just be, well, not all over the place in a bad way, in a good way, all around the ring, pretty much doing whatever they could without risking a DQ. Bianca tried to hit a KOD onto these bees, man, they're gonna be death to me. And I think Bianca tried to hit a KOD onto Becky onto the barricade, but Becky, being the smart wrestler she is, kind of landed on her feet and pulled Bianca into the barricade. And I think she continued to try to work Bianca's shoulder, so I guess to weaken her so she couldn't hit the KOD. Um, excuse me. We did have Becky try to get her either with a disarm her or the manhandle slam, repeatedly throughout the night or the match, to try to either to get back to Bianca to submit or get the 3 count. But no matter what, Bianca just kept coming back, either kicking out or at the bare second getting to the ropes to break submission holds. And of course, Bianca also trying to hit her KOD finisher move, but Becky being suave, she would hold on to the ropes to get out of it, or roll out of the ring so Bianca could not get the 1-2-3. To where Bianca, which is fed up, just gave her the KOD on the outside onto the floor, and then surprisingly, well, I would say she did kind of finish the match with a KOD, but I don't think we've really seen this from Bianca. A Spanish fly, I believe from the top rope, to also into the KOD to get Lynch for the 1-2-3. And at the end of the match, I guess surprising, but not surprising, like a show of respect from the both of them, because as we know, these two have great chemistry. They can fight all day long and put on a banger of a match. I guess technically, a show of good faith. I don't know if they were at that moment giving Becky like the nod of, all right, you can be the face because the fans going to cheer you anyway. She kind of rolls out to the ring to give Bianca her moment. She's basking it all in, hi to the fans, they won my title. And then we get a surprise return from Bayley coming back, which I was not surprised to see her come back at SummerSlam. I was surprised to see her come back in regards to look seemingly to challenge Bianca, because as we know, she was a SmackDown roster before she went out on injury. But Bayley did not come alone to big surprise to me. I don't read any of the trades or anything to know if this was actually ever coming forth. Dakota Kai coming back, being re-signed back to WWE, and standing beside Bayley. But wait, there's more. We now get the proper call up of Io Shirai also joining what seemingly looks like a new stable for Bayley. I don't know if there's an actual name for it yet. Of these three women, they might add more. Who knows? To face off against Bianca, but Becky had not left yet. She came to stand beside Bianca. I guess fully cementing a face turn to go against this new female faction. I was pleasantly surprised to see, or I guess it's not Io Shirai anymore, it's Io Skye, although if you were looking at the Titantron, it did not reflect that. But it's been apparent that is her new name, Io Skye. I think this is a pretty good shake-up of the women's division, especially bringing Dakota Kai fully back.
No! Sorry. I was waiting for you to finish, and I'm like, watch them call it something like Bayley's Baddies or something. And then, I was just going to say that as a joke. But Slater, is that the real name? Or were you just, like, reading my mind? Because I don't mean to interrupt you. I was waiting for you to finish so I could say, like, watch them name it something stupid like Bayley's Baddies. And then Slater just typed that. Welcome, Slater, to the chat. Sorry to interrupt. But, like, that just, like, hit me so hard because that's what I was going to say. That's going to be a stupid name. They're going to name things stupid like that. If that's really the name, Vince McMahon is reading my mind. Or, like, Slater just read my mind.
The only thing I saw floating around was Control, but I think with, like, 2 R's or something like that, but I don't know. But I was just gonna ask, like, what do you think of the returns and the call-ups and potentially new feuds for Bianca and I guess by proxy also Becky and this new shake-up to the women's division a little bit?
Okay, he just said 2 great minds think alike. So I guess that's not their name. It's just we both are the same name for them, which is good. So, if that's the name, that'll be hilarious because...
the internet would have went wild if they did that because you wouldn't... Well, I guess you only know if you watch AEW. But it'd be like, oh, that's what you're really going to call them after Jade Cargill has her baddie section? But...
I don't know what that is, but okay. Well, the one reason that they had the show of respect at the end is because actually Becky did separate her shoulder. She dislocated her shoulder during the match.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and like they had the picture of her with her shoulder out, and she wrestled the rest of the match with it out. So that's pretty crazy. So that was cool. Great match. Obviously, like they always put up great matches. These two, they have good chemistry, as you said. As for the returns at the end, Io Shirai, I couldn't care less about. Bayley, all right, that's cool, but I really like Dakota Kai. I liked her in NXT. I don't know if she ever went to AEW or not. I don't know about that kind of stuff, but I was really sad to see her go.
A lot of times, I don't think she. I can't tell you about Dark or because I don't watch those, but definitely not on the main show for sure.
Because I really liked her and Tegan Knox's little rivalry they had when I saw that. Was it like War Games or whatever they had? And they started that thing. I really like Tegan Knox. I think Tegan Knox is now in AEW, I think. I might have just made that up as well. But anyway, it's cool to see Dakota Kai back. I really liked her. I thought she was a good worker in the ring and stuff like that. It's good to see her call up to the main roster instead of sticking around NXT, because she was really thriving in NXT and doing really well, and she was at the height of her spot in NXT, and then all of a sudden she got released, and I was like, what? Like, she was just, like, in War Games, like, had a great match, I think, and then all of a sudden she's gone. So, we're hoping for those other, I know Triple H tweeted right when that happened saying, like, and we're just getting started. So I don't know if he means, like, that the night is just getting started, or we're just getting started. Like, it was supposed to be, like, I think, like, kind of mysterious or enigmatic statement saying we're just getting started. Like, are we bringing back more people tonight or ever kind of thing? So maybe we'll see stuff like, Johnny Gargano and people like that come back. I know there's a bunch of names people want to see come back. But, like, for me, at the top of the list is people like, Johnny Gargano, Cesaro. Cesaro we won't see come back, obviously, because he's a champion somewhere else, I think. But, but Johnny Gargano would be cool to see come back, and maybe a few others. I can't think off the top of my head, but if you named a few, I'll be like, yep, probably them. But whatever. It's cool. I thought the comebacks were alright. Io Shirai is a stupid... Io Sky is a stupid name now. I'd rather stick with Io. Like, all the name changes are pretty stupid now. Like, I can't call a lot of them by their new names.
This one makes, like, just a tiny bit of sense, because she was always called the genius of the sky from all, like, her moonsaults and stuff like that. So at least in a way, you could kind of make that...
But why... But what are you going to call her? Io Sky, the genius of the sky? No, that's too redundant or repetitive. They should have just kept it Io Shirai, the genius of the sky, because that even rhymes.
I 100% agree. I'm just saying, at least of all the name changes we've had, this one, you can kind of make a little bit of sense with it.
But, the only one I was fine with is, like, Tommaso Ciampa. Now he's just Ciampa. That's fine. It's not, like, that much of a change, right? But, like, people like Gunther, that's so dumb. Butch, that's so dumb. Like, a lot of these are really stupid, so I don't even call them by, like, I don't get me started with Seth freaking Rollins. Just call him Seth Rollins. Like, that's stupid in itself. But whatever. It's cool to see them back. Welcome back, Dakota Kai, pretty much. I don't care about the other ones. I really want to see Kairi Sane come back. I really liked her. But, I don't think she is, because she's, like, married and doing her thing in Japan now, I guess. Something like that. But whatever. Pretty cool. The next match was for nothing. It was just The Miz versus Logan Paul. And it was kind of stemming off the heat that they had, or the little fight that they had after their WrestleMania tag match, where Miz turned on him, saying, I'm the only star here. Anyway, when they got to the ring, Miz has always taunted his former tag team partner, and then Logan, obviously being a quote-unquote boxer, threw some punches at Miz, knocking him over the ropes. Then he hit, he did, like, springboard, not a springboard, he jumped over the rope. Logan Paul jumped over the ropes, and then did a moonsault right off the apron, which is pretty cool. He's very athletic. He's looking very good in the ring. I saw someone tweet like that he's already looking better than Dominic Mysterio, who's probably been training all his life. But I think he's Logan Paul's been training for a long time as well. But Dominic Mysterio should be has it in his blood. So I don't know, whatever. Anyway, they kept battling back and forth. Miz, when they got back to the ring, Miz was able to catch Paul getting back into the ring and started doing those. I think he hit him with a code breaker or knees or something. And then he started stomping on Paul, but then Ciampa got involved. Ciampa got No. I don't think this is where Ciampa got. That happened at the end of the match, I believe. Ciampa got thrown out. I think Ciampa got thrown out the end. Whatever. Anyway, Ciampa just hit Paul for a little bit. The Miz went for a running knee, but Paul countered it into a blockbuster, I believe, and then a power slam. And that was pretty nice to see. For some reason, it just brought me back to Davey Boy Smith's finishing move. I know Bobby Lashley used it for a while, but it really brought me back to Davey Boy Smith, the British Bulldog, back to that. And then Logan Paul went for the it kicks, and Ben put him in the figure four leg lock because that's what you do, I guess. Like you use your own move, the other person's moves against them. Then after Miz got out of the figure four leg lock, Paul didn't relent. He went for a crossbody off the top and then hit a standing moonsault. Then that's when I think Ciampa got into the ring to stop the pin, and the referee saw him because I think asked him. He kicked him out of the ring. Ejected him from the ringside. Ciampa grabbed the chair and sat down and said, "I'm not leaving." And then all of a sudden AJ Styles' music hit, and he and Ciampa battled to the back, I guess it was, and while that was happening, Logan Paul hit AJ Styles' finishing move, the phenomenal forearm, really poorly, I might add. It wasn't done very well on the Miz. Did not get the pin. Then the Miz rolled out of the ring. Paul chased him and put him onto the announcer table. Then Logan Paul went to the top of the turnbuckle, jumped off the top, hit a frog splash through the announcer table, which looked very good. Rolled Miz back into the ring. Maurice jumped up on the apron to distract the Miz. The Miz then grabbed his Pokemon card or whatever is the Miz card, which has like a I don't know, had something on it. He went to go hit Logan Paul with it. Logan Paul dodged it and almost hit Maurice. So then he's like, "Oh, I'm not gonna hit you, Maurice. I'm not gonna hit you, Maurice." And while he had his hands up, like, "I'm not gonna hit you," Logan Paul put him into the skull crushing finale, and once again hit Miz's own move on him for the third time in the match, and got the pin. 1, 2, 3. Very entertaining match. And Logan Paul, we thought he looked really good at at WrestleMania. I think he looked even better at SummerSlam because he got to show off some moves as well as break a table, which is pretty cool. Alicia, what do you think?
Yeah, I will give Logan Paul the credit of being athletic and maybe able to pull off the moves. I just don't care about Logan Paul, so I didn't care about this match. My favorite part of the match was the ref telling Ciampa he had to leave, and Ciampa was like, "No, I'm not gonna do that. I promise, I'll just sit right here in this chair." I just thought that was funny because I just like Ciampa. But other than that, I like the Miz and Ciampa and Maurice together, but I don't really care about Logan Paul. I don't think, unfortunately, I don't think this is over because we're not adding AJ Styles into this as well. So probably not over, but yeah, it was fine.
I don't mind seeing this go all the way through. Hear me out. WWE, hear me out because you're probably gonna use this idea. I don't mind seeing this going through till Survivor Series, and then forming teams, and maybe the final member of Logan Paul's team will be. I've been asking for it. Wherever Ciampa goes, the opposite side should get Johnny Gargano, and maybe Candice LeRae can get it. And they could have like the first ever. I don't know. Maybe they've had it in the past. Maybe Joe would know this. But a first ever intergender Survivor Series match. Like, I mean, like, as in like traditional.
Not from my knowledge.
Like, I mean, intergender traditional Survivor Series match where we have the Miz, Maurice, Ciampa, and then obviously two more people. I don't know who. Maybe you throw a tag team in there like the Viking Raiders, against Logan Paul, AJ Styles, Johnny Gargano, Candice LeRae, and like somebody else. You know what I mean? Like that would be kind of cool to see. I think that would be awesome to see. But we'll see. That's what I think. All right, the next match.
Somebody get a ref.
The next match is for the United States Championship, featuring Bobby Lashley, United States Champion, against Theory. Oh, that's another stupid thing. Theory. It's Austin Theory, damn it. All right. Anyway, go ahead. This is yours, Alicia.
Yeah, I know. I was kind of hoping maybe we could put it into this, but we'll have to see. But yeah, I mean, this match had. I mean, I guess you could say it had build up because it was a rehash of what was the last pay per view? Oh, Money in the
Bank.
I don't know. Well, just a rehash of Austin trying to regain his U.S. title off of Lashley. So I guess it had that built in, storyline from that. But I kind of another match that I really was trying to keen to see. It was more like I was just keen to see if Austin would actually, if they would book him to actually win it again. But Lashley was attacked while he was coming out through the ring to do a little pose to the crowd. Attacked him with the briefcase before the bell could ring to try to weaken him. But he is called the Almighty for a reason, and he just took that on the chin and continued on being put in the onslaught on to Theory that no matter what he tried throwing him, even trying to get him, I think it's called what's called the A-Town down or whatever his move is called, being caught by Lashley and put in like is it I don't know if it's called a lateral press or the military press. Either way, he got caught, he got dropped, and girl, you trying to keep me from talking? But unfortunately, I think this match probably was only like 6 minutes long, or it felt that way because before you know it, Lashley still won by submission with the Hurt Lock, um, and retains the title. I guess depending on the way that they're gonna write theory kind of makes sense because Lashley didn't have much, still hasn't had much to do outside of theory with this. Uh, I guess this is his second run with this belt, or this is his first. I don't know. Okay. And so I would kind of like to see him like get a little bit another maybe a more proper feud with somebody. Are you trying to be the third host of the show? And so I'm glad he did get to retain, and it's kind of like they're doing a little beatdown of Theory because I had heard since Money in the Bank he has lost about 6 or 7 matches. So yeah, it's kind of interesting what they're kind of doing with him. But I was like, okay, well, there's that, and I guess now we move on to the main event to see if he actually gets to cash in, which he said he was going to do regardless. So
Right.
I was like, all right, let's see. But all in all, I think the match was fine. I think it served the purpose for what they needed it to do, and now Bobby can hopefully move on with someone else.
Right. So a lot of people on Twitter were saying that this match was worse than the Money Bank, which probably it was. But this was probably just a filler match because I remember like I think was I texting you or Will? I think I was texting Will saying like, "Damn, it's already 9 o'clock and they've only had 2 matches and there's 8 matches tonight. Like no pre-show. This is gonna go on forever. So they need to throw in some quick matches in between, because we figured that was gonna happen. Anyway, I was texting Will also during the match saying like, didn't Bobby Lashley beat Brock Lesnar? So like, why is he having trouble? And he didn't have like I was gonna ask him why is he gonna have trouble with this guy? And with that, right when I was texting that, like it was the match was over. I'm like, oh, okay, makes sense. So yeah, it wasn't much to expected to see. I think it's just to end their storyline and stuff like that.
Yeah, I was gonna say when it came to like theory, it was I don't think it was ever into question if like Bobby can beat him. It was just more like how is theory either going to get out of this or be like the Weasley heel of pulling something off like that. So I think that they've kept Bobby strong enough to where that he would probably have never if he did lose would not have lost cleanly. It would have been theory with some shenanigans being the wily evil heel, not evil but I guess what they call the chicken shit hill, I guess. But if they were to go that route,
And then I think after this match, they had like a little segment with Drew McIntyre promoting the next pay-per-view, which we'll talk about at the end of the evening, or premium live event, but I'm just still used to saying. That's another thing I hate to change the name of. It's called a pay-per-view, damn it. It has been called that since the 1980s. I will be calling it that. The next match.
I know technically we aren't paying per viewing if you have the Peacock app, but still, it sticks.
The next match was the Mysterios, Rey Mysterio and Dominic Mysterio against Judgment period Day. But why do they have New Day, Judgment Day? It's so stupid. Just call it Judgment. Such a better name. Featuring Finn Balor, Damian Priest, alongside Rhea Ripley. Basically, as soon as the Mysterios got into the ring or tried to get into the ring, they were assaulted by Judgment Day. But the Mysterios used their quickness and agility to clear the ring of everyone, and then started doing some crazy what do you call it? Planches to the outside. Because I think this is like a no disqualification match. Yeah, it's a no disqualification match. So Balor tried to bring in a steel chair into the ring. Ray took it out, hit Priest with it, and then hit a baseball slot. Rey Mysterio rode the chair out of the ring while doing a dive, sliding onto Finn Balor, who was laying out on the outside of the ring. And then I think Ray went for the 619 on Priest, who was like kind of laid out from the original chair shot, but Balor tagged himself in. Balor went for the coup de grace, but Dominic grabbed Balor's leg. That allowed Ray to climb up the ropes and hit a Hurricane Rana off the top. Then the Mysterios then tried to go for a dual 619, but Rhea Ripley tripped them up and grabbed Dominic and pulled him out of the ring and slammed him face first into the side of the ropes. And then side of the ring apron or whatever you call it. And then Damian Priest hit this move. I don't know what it's called. Some move. It's got a name. One of his signature moves. And Priest went for a chair, but then all of a sudden the lights turned out, and the fire went towards the outside, towards up these steps. And all of a sudden, there was a elevated entranceway with a superstar coming out of the ground, raised up around the Ring of Fire, which happened to be Edge. Edge came out, charged the ring. Damian Priest met him along the way, got a big boot. Edge got into the ring, speared Priest, and then speared Balor. Then Priest got into the ring. Edge dodged his move, bounced off the rope, and hit another spear. Put them both into. Oh, no, I think only Balor got put onto the ropes, and then Rey Mysterio and Dominic hit a tandem 619, and then Rey jumped off, did a sloppy, not even a springboard. He just jumped over the top, which is hard to do, obviously, for such a small guy and older gentleman. But he jumped right over the top rope and did a splash. Not even dropping the dime, because usually there's a springboard to drop the dime. He just jumped straight over, and got the 1, 2, 3. So that was cool to see Edge come back and all that. But it was a good match. It was, not much like high spots really. From what I expected, there'd be more high spots from these superstars. But I feel like Dominic is really dropping. Like, I really see the more stock of Logan Paul going up and Dominic dropping ever since I saw that tweet. It really made me think. But Delisha, what'd you think of the match?
The match was fine, but I honestly think Judgment Day really needed the win here. They've been pretty much having their asses handed to them by the Mysterios, pretty much since Edge left, or was kicked out. So maybe Edge could have returned like after the match or whatever, but it's whatever. It was fine. I just really think that Judgment Day, they haven't been able to showcase them being strong. Honestly, the strongest person in the group is Rhea. I mean, not in terms of actual strength. I just meant in terms of
even by strength, probably.
Well, yeah, probably that too. But like, I feel like she's the one that people are always looking at, especially, and they were also kind of like being primed to like push her before she had that injury. Those two were kind of like literally and figuratively like standing behind her to be to support her in her feud with Bianca, but that's on hold for a little bit. But yeah, pretty much it was fine. I like Edge's. He fixed that mullet that was kind of a little bad in the back from the last haircut. Got a better haircut and another cool jacket. So we're also the races to see what they do. I mean, it's kind of weird that Ray and Dominic, given what Edge had started with them, and their last few be like, yeah, cool, help us out. But we'll see. I have no idea where this is going. They've changed the plans on Judgment Day like so many times, so I don't know what's gonna happen.
Yeah, the way they introduced Finn Balor into their group was so stupid, and the way it's been going since then, it's been so stupid. But Edge came back really fast. Like, if it wasn't for SummerSlam, I don't think he would have been back. If it wasn't SummerSlam, I think it would have just had like a montage or like the lights going off, and you hear the Brood music and fire, but he wouldn't come back, and that would give the Mysterios the little respite they needed to come back into the match. But since it was SummerSlam being one of the big four, they had to have that Edge return.
Yeah, I actually prefer what you just said to not him to actually not come out. It's just almost like a warning, like I'm coming.
Yeah.
Well, he did say I'm coming in in the vignette, but it was like to legit be like I'm coming for you.
Wait, they had a vignette, or was that the thing that everyone thought was Bray Wyatt? And it was
that's what I was saying. Yeah, I guess he did say that in his vignette, but as another like physical manifestation.
Wait, is it confirmed that vignette was for him and not for Bray Wyatt?
Oh yeah, you haven't seen like the breakdowns of how it has like Hardy's.
No, I've seen all that, but like people said like it could also be Bray Wyatt.
No, there's too many Edge references. I don't think so.
Maybe Bray Wyatt's on the edge of coming back.
He might just be under this. All bets are off right now, so that's why it's so exciting. Because we don't know, and you know me, I love not knowing what to expect.
Right. I remember the biggest pop up for you saying that because before the internet was around, but I didn't really have the internet. I didn't read like any of those like rumor reports. I didn't have Twitter or anything back in the day. And when The Rock made one comeback, like on SmackDown, like he came back, and all of a sudden, like I didn't know he was coming back because he's been away for a long time.
I was gonna say, which one?
This was when he still had hair, like and stuff like that. It's like back in the day.
Was that the one when the new kind of like Hollywood, if you smell music?
No. This is before Hollywood too. Like this was like
okay.
I think they just brought him back because like I think Austin walked out of the company, so they brought The Rock back for like a night.
Okay.
Whatever it was, it's like he came back and all of a sudden like if you smell, and I popped so loud that my parents got scared and they ran into the room like, what happened? What happened? I'm like, oh, the Rock game. Like, they're like, oh, like, because like that's what was exciting because I didn't know like dirt sheets. I didn't know the internet. I mean, the internet was there, but I wasn't like accessing it to look up wrestling stuff. I didn't look. There was no Twitter back then, or there might have been, but I didn't really use Twitter, and all that kind of stuff. So that's what it's exciting. Just it's like I'm not trying to read it. That's why I didn't know anything about that Bray Wyatt thing because like I tried to avoid all that kind of stuff. Like I'll see it once in a while. Like I didn't even know about that what do you call it, promo or vignette because until I was going through my Twitter time and all of a sudden I saw it. I'm like, oh, they had one on whatever pay per view it was. Like they showed that promo. I didn't see that. They're like everyone's saying, oh, it could be Bray Wyatt. Then like everyone's like, no, it's Edge. Bray Wyatt, Edge, Bray. Like and it's like, and that's the only one I ever saw. So like I didn't know there's all this stuff that was revealed.
Yeah, I think they only showed. I think there was only one vignette, and then they showed it again on like Raw or whatever. So I don't think there was like another. I don't think there.
No, from what I heard, it was like 2 or 3.
Oh.
That's what I was asking. Do they have a final one that showed Edge's face? I don't know. That's what I was trying to ask you.
No, none of them showed his face.
Oh, okay. So maybe we'll see. Might be happening right now, live on Raw. Raw's not been started yet. But anyway.
It's not.
All right. Next up is Pat McAfee versus Happy Corbin.
You're wrong. It's not against Happy Corbin. It's against bum-ass Corbin.
Oh, bum-ass Corbin. I forgot they changed his name again.
No. No, I
know.
No, I was gonna say it's pretty funny because they really lead it into as Corbin was coming down from his music before he got to the ring, it like switched and you get this choir singing the bum-ass Corbin chant that McAfee started, which I thought was hilarious, by the way. And I guess this is kind of like a match that Corbin didn't like what McAfee's been saying about him on commentary, and I didn't know this until they mentioned it because I've never followed McAfee's career or the NFL in particular, but they both were, I guess, rookies with the Colts. Did I have that right?
I thought Corbin played for the Cardinals, but maybe he was on the Colts in rookie camp, maybe.
I don't know. Someone let me know in the comments. I'm pretty sure they said it was the Colts because they.
Well, I know McAfee's on the Colts. I know for a fact McAfee's on the Colts. I just don't know.
They were roommates. I just don't remember if it was on the Colts or if it was before McAfee. Anyway, that's where it started, and this would be McAfee's second match on the quote unquote main roster. He did have that match with Adam Cole back in NXT. And so he already had people in high regards from his WrestleMania match. So people were kind of expecting a pretty solid match with this one too. And before we can start it, Corbin, I think, shoved McAfee, and then out of nowhere, he just gave him a super kick and to get this match started. And these two would just continue to go at it throughout the ring. And they were kind of going more for this as a fight than an actual like wrestling match type of deal to make it seem like more personal. I mean, it was like pretty solid. There was a pretty few scary bumps that McAfee almost failed on. And he tried to do the jump from the ring to the top rope where he slipped, but he caught himself and he got right back up to do I think it was a superplex.
Yeah.
And then I believe he hit a senton that had Corbin not kind of like shifted and caught him. Could have been really bad for McAfee. So all in all, we had a couple of like little botches here and there between those two, but both of these are pretty athletic. And Corbin, for the most part, he's a pretty safe worker. He really like covered McAfee in this match to make sure it all came off looking great. And then he would win when the ref got taken out for a second. I can't remember. I think Corbin like hit him as he missed something from McAfee, and McAfee got his revenge from, I believe, the Friday before, where Corbin hit him with a low blow. He hit him with a low blow while the ref's back was turned, and then hit a sunset flip for the win. All in all, pretty solid match. Like you're not gonna get a 5-star. Was a Dave Meltzer rating from this match. I'm hoping this is kind of the end. Little sprinkles of Pat McAfee in matches doesn't bother me, but we don't need him to become a full-time wrestler. And Corbin, he does whatever the company asks him to, and he tries to make it work. So I will give him kudos for that. He's just not my favorite, but I do recognize the skill that he brings as being, a solid worker. But overall, pretty solid. Pretty scary with some of those botches from McAfee, but they quickly corrected themselves and the crowd, as usual, behind McAfee and seemed to really enjoy this match as well.
Yeah, I was gonna call those out too. Yeah, McAfee did botch a few spots, and thank God Corbin's one of the safest, if not the safest, wrestler that they had in the company. You know, looking out for the people he works with. So you know, that kind of really took a little off the match. I feel like McAfee was really showcased in Wrestle. It's pretty much almost an identical match or move set that he used in WrestleMania. Pretty much identical. So except for the botches, right? He had botches this time around, and so that took away from him. Whereas Logan Paul had a pretty solid look, standing at WrestleMania, but looked even better in SummerSlam. So I feel like they switched rules. McAfee like really shown in WrestleMania, whereas Logan Paul, of the two non like roster legit wrestlers,
Yeah.
And Logan Paul really shown last night in SummerSlam. So
Also, I'm about to say, I think this also calls towards the match they were trying to go for, or the match I was kind of produced. It was supposed to be produced to be more like a fight,
yeah, yeah,
rather than like a match, because they got personal,
yeah.
and whenever they got personal, you gotta come at it like
Yeah, even at the end, that sunset powerbomb did not look too clean either. Like I thought maybe someone might get hurt. So it wasn't very. I mean, good for McAfee, but like I agree with you. He should only be sprinkled in here and there because this time around wasn't as impressive as the first time.
His strength is the commentary with Michael Cole.
Yes. The next match is for the what are they called? The Raw and SmackDown Tag Team Championships. Or the Undisputed, the Universe. I don't know what they call these titles nowadays.
The Undisputed.
The Undisputed Tag Team Championships featuring the Undisputed Tag Team Champions, the Usos, Jimmy and Jay, against the Street Profits, Montez Ford, and Angelo Dawkins. And the funny thing is, this is where we jinxed ourselves, or I jinxed us, because I was texting Alicia, I'm like, as long as the Liv Morgan match is after the Happy Corbin match, for the first time in a long time, you and I are alternating perfectly between matches. But unfortunately, this match came up first. Or maybe not, unfortunately, because the one right before the main event is usually the bathroom break. So I'm glad that this was not the bathroom break. So Alicia, go ahead.
Yeah, WWE doesn't want us to have doesn't want us to be great. So we hardly ever will get the back and forth. But this match was again for, like we said, for the Undisputed Tag Team Championships. Between the Usos and Street Profits, which much like I feel like the Usos, when it comes, they're just gonna fight every tag team like 15 times, and they're still gonna put on good matches. Where you're like, whoo, okay. But also, going from the last couple of weeks, it's really been kind of like gaining up an intensity of not these two teams like hating each other, but like hating each other, for story's sake. And because we were in Nashville, Tennessee, we had a special guest referee to call things down the middle to make sure we didn't have what happened at Money in the Bank, where uh For, Ford's shoulder was up when they got to 3, yada yada yada. Um, so uh, actually Ford, Montez, and and Angel Dawkins, they kind of got like they got their little special entrance with the Tennessee Titan cheerleaders, which um cool, I guess. I don't know. Their gear was nice. I didn't really care for the actual cheerleaders. It's yeah, whatever. But right off the bat, Uso was trying to take control of Dawkins, trying to make him quote unquote the weak man out. And Jarrett was there doing his job, making sure he was culling things, but down the middle. As you know, sometimes with special guest referees, sometimes they're playing to one side one a bit, but I think he was, for the most part, legitimately calling things down the middle. I don't think he favored one side either way. They kind of went for a slower pace to build up into the anticipation. Um, but if you thought that Angelo Dawkins was going to stay quiet for long, no, he would not. He may be the big guy, not the slimmer, athletic as Montez Ford, but the man can go. So what he wanted to show you in this match was put some respect on his name, because he can also do the dives out of the ring too. We saw him get I think it's a flying senton over the top rope onto the Usos and hold them to push them off into the barricade. But of course, once Ford got the hot tag, you're going to see the high flying spots again, the jumping over the turnbuckle onto his opponent to just bring the high energy. Excuse me, I'm trying to sneeze, but not also on the child. He's going to bring that high energy, trying to hit those those frog splash, which he did hit, but in kayfabe fashion, he hit his ribs. That also was worked on earlier, so he was a little slow to get the pin to only get a 2 count. So where he kind of got like mad at Jeff Jarrett. Again, I don't know. I don't know why he did the actual proper job. But unfortunately, that caused a little bit of distraction. So the Usos were able to take out 4 and throw him into the crowd, and then gave I don't know if it hit Dawkins with the double flying headbutt or if it was the super kick. Yeah. But they got the win. Um, I mean, it was a solid match. I had no qualms thinking this was gonna be like a low grade match. They were gonna bring the energy. They were gonna, as they do, because they just have really good chemistry together. Unfortunately, I think a lot of people, me included, thought that the Profits might actually get it here to start maybe putting some strife into the bloodline. But no, we're gonna keep it with the bloodline as of now. As of like this match holding all the gold. Of course, I'm pretty sure Roman was happy that they didn't lose. But almost a little bit the bloodline holding on the gold is kind of getting a little bit stale. It might be due to the lack of tag team opponents for the Usos, so nothing really feels fresh at the moment. That could change. That could change with the new regime. So we should wait and see. But overall, good match. But I'm kind of this the tag team scene needs something new again. Once again, I think this is probably our third time this year saying that, but I think that's what this is lacking. Is something a little bit fresh. Whereas the Street Profits winning would have been something a little wrinkle into that feud. But on like the good match, are you still feeling high on the Usos as champions, or do you think it's time for them to let it go? Nope, still the ones. Okay.
So getting to this point, all right. Let me comment on the match first. The match wasn't as good as what they fought at Money in the Bank, right? It's a repeat of Money in the Bank. It wasn't as good as that match. That match was great. What did I see in this match? I saw them sowing the seeds of a breakup of the Street Profits. Going into this match, I thought the Street Profits, like you, I thought Welcome Erickton as well. We are good. I hope you're doing well. I was thinking like you that the Street Profits would win because kind of like hometown if you think about it, because Bianca Belair and stuff. But I was getting nervous, right? Because like up to this point, no tag team titles. No titles have changed up to this point, right? So I'm thinking, like this is it. This is the one, right? And then when it didn't change, I got even more nervous because I was like, oh crap, something's got to. This is SummerSlam. Something's got to change. And the next matches are my matches, like with my girl Liv Morgan and Roman Reigns. As much as I love Brock Lesnar, I'm loving this whole Bloodline thing. So I'm like, all right, cool, Bloodline Hell into the match. So like my commentary on the match is that it wasn't as good as Money in the Bank. Very sloppy. Like some of those moves were not done very well. The timing was off, I felt, in this case, of the Usos. Not by the Street Profits, but by the Usos, who are usually, they're, 3-time AfterMat Award tag team winners in the tag team of the year. Like, they're always bang, 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 always good. But, like, I felt they were kind of off tonight. But what I saw was a lackluster match compared to their Money in the Bank match, which was probably the match of the night, I think we said it was. Hard to follow that. Now, I did see some seeds of maybe a breakup between the Street Profits. Now, what I could see happening is one more match between these two, and that's when the Street Profits actually break up. And that will finish off that line and allow a new tag team to step up. What tag team will it be? I don't know yet. Maybe the Mysterios, unfortunately. I don't know. No, I think they lost them. Anyway, who cares? Whatever, the Bloodline won. That's great. I'm happy about that. Other than that, this match was alright. I'm glad the Bloodline won, or the Usos won, because that makes the Bloodline still champions, which I hope they stay for a long time. But we'll see what happens coming up the next few papers. After this match, though, they had that little spot where Riddle walked out. Did you have anything else to say on this match, or I'm gone?
I was gonna say, it's not that I'm like bored of the Usos, like in general. I think it's just like once again the tag team groups are getting stale because they keep fighting the same 3 people or 3 teams over and over again. So I just want to see something a little bit more fresher going on, I guess,
right,
with all that.
Maybe they need their own tag team show.
Like their own like a tag team like tournament type show.
No, like Tag Team Tuesdays. They have a Raw, they have a SmackDown, they have an NXT. Well, NXT's on Tuesday or Wednesday.
Tuesdays.
Well, move NXT to Wednesday or Thursday, and make it Tag Tuesday, because I said so, and have only tag teams on that show. And that's when they can talk about like the Usos. They'll have like the tournaments to fight for. They'll have all the fighting happening on that show only. Tag team fight division only on that show. And then the winners can come on into Raw and SmackDown to challenge or something. Uso. I don't know. Whatever. They can figure it out.
Well, for me, the issue isn't the matches themselves. Like I'm saying, they just don't have the strength of the tag team division that they've had.
That's what I'm saying.
And it's not lack of the time frame. Raw's 3,000 hours and SmackDown's 2 hours. Like they have the potential to write them well. It's just like they got to strength instead of just throwing two random singles together. Like, oh, since we both lost in our main singles bouts, we'll just get together for a tag team. But like,
that's what I'm saying. Have their own show that has tag team, just like I had 205 Live, which had the cruiserweight division that was like thriving.
Who's watching that? Who's watching that?
Well, maybe you'll start watching it and get people to start watching. Because if you care about the tag team division enough, maybe that will be the show that people will start watching to have.
Yeah, I hear main events putting on banger matches, but I still not watching.
Well, that's the only time you're gonna get it, because if you talk about Raw being 3 hours, if you watch it without commercials, it's only an hour and 30 minutes, if that, or hour 40 minutes. 2 hours max if they get fewer commercial breaks, right? And think about it, like maybe 30 minutes of that is promos and like interviews. So you only get like an hour and a half of matches. Most of it's in single cars. Think about it, the Intercontinental Championship hasn't been defended in like 17 years. The last time the Intercontinental Championship match, the title was defended on a pay-per-view, the Honky Tonk Man was the champion, kind of like that. But anyway, that's what I think. That's my suggestion. And since they always listen to me, that's probably what they're going to do. After this match, Riddle came out and challenged Seth Rollins to come out. Seth Rollins came out, hit him with a curb stomp, or the stomp, whatever they changed the name again of things I like. And that's about it. The next match was for their SmackDown Women's Championship, featuring Liv Morgan, the SmackDown Women's Champion, against Ronda Rousey. And I know you and I both dread covering a Ronda Rousey match, but this time I did it because my girl Liv Morgan was in it. So fresh off her cash-in against Ronda Rousey, she's now defending her championship against the former champion. And it was pretty much a stupid match because Ronda Rousey came out and just like destroyed Liv Morgan early. I think Liv Morgan got a code breaker in and then went for her finishing move, but then Ronda Rousey caught it, put it in an armbar. Liv Morgan got out of it. Ronda put another armbar. Liv Morgan got out of it. Put another armbar. Got out of it. Like basically, that's what the whole match was. Eventually, Ronda sunk in a deep armbar. Liv Morgan was able to turn Ronda Rousey onto her back, and the ref counted 1, 2, and before the 3 hit, Liv Morgan tapped out, but the referee wasn't seeing that, and counted the 3, and therefore Liv Morgan retained. Ronda Rousey went crazy after the match because she said, "Hey, look, she tapped out," and that's about it. It was pretty stupid, like really not even a match at all, if you can call it a match. And I was because I was thinking, like, how the hell is Liv Morgan gonna defeat Ronda Rousey fairly? I don't know. So, like, it didn't. It was basically what the match you expected to see there, with Liv Morgan barely surviving and then, like, cheaply winning. Not even cheaply, just favorably winning in her favor, like, with the referee not seeing it. Stupid-ass match. I don't know. What'd you think?
I agree. One, they made their champion look weak, and 2, well, it was a Ronda Rousey match, so you can't really expect too much out of her at this point. I did not like the finish at all. Like I said, it made Morgan look really weak and not smart. They should have just kept it as her being able to turn the armbar and pin her, just to be a smart, wrestler. And just the fact that her being able to pin her in that while she had the submission on could have still been justifiable with her being angry, because she's like, she can't really beat me. She just was a little bit more smarter about it for a little bit. And you still could have the same thing happen of her attacking Liv and then attacking. Well, I guess at this point she wouldn't really attack the ref because he didn't do anything wrong. But she just needed to attack Liv anyway. So, and honestly, this better be a legit heel turn, because her actions are more conducive to being a heel. I don't know if you can hear it, but she was legit heckling the crowd, like to where she was like threatening to, throw a piece of limb into the crowd, even though obviously that wouldn't happen. But so I'm like, the actions that you choose in the ring are not conducive to the babyface that you're trying to portray. So have some fun with it and be a heel. People want to view you as a heel, embrace it, and then further down the line, when you get turned face again, it might actually work better in your favor. Also, these last couple weeks, she's been attacking women after their matches for no reason. So, like, what babyface behavior is she doing? I don't know. It's nothing, honestly. But hopefully, this is an actual heel turn, not them just like, oh, she was just angry after the match or whatever. Although, Twitter was like, oh, I mean, Twitter news from WWE is that she was fined for attacking the ref or whatever. So, I guess to write her off maybe a little bit for TV wise. I don't know. Either way, I didn't care for this match. Liv looked weak, and she's your champion. She's the face of your division for SmackDown at least. At least let her be smart about it. Similar to actually what they did to Shayna, which is who they try to make Ronda. What they trying to make Ronda be is, I think this happened either with Ember Moon and I think with Kairi Sane, where she had them in a Kafuda clutch. I think that's the right term.
Yeah.
And they just turned their body enough to just pin them, and that keeping your face a face and your heel still a heel because they just got. Oh well, I guess they wouldn't work in this situation because they're both faces. Either way, it was a stupid ending, and I feel bad for Liv. I still don't care for her as a champion, but I feel bad for her because she was made to look weak. Champions shouldn't look weak, especially in their very first title defense on a big pay-per-view like this.
We already spent too much time on this match. The final match of the evening was for the Universal, whatever it's called, the Undisputed Universal WWE Champion, featuring the Undisputed Universal WWE Champion Roman Reigns against Brock Lesnar in a last man standing match. The match started off with Roman Reigns coming to the ring, and then Brock Lesnar following suit, but using a tractor to come to the ring and driving the damn tractor into the ring with the whatever the scoop is called, like hanging over the top rope. So no, that third of the ring wasn't able to be used in the match. Not that it was going to be used, but anyway, that's very dangerous if you ask. Especially with Brock Lesnar recklessly throwing people around the ring. That seemed very dangerous. There was a cool promo at the beginning with Brock Lesnar talking, throwing the mic, and Roman Reigns effortlessly catching it in his left hand. If you haven't seen that, I retweeted it like several times. So make sure you check it out on Twitter because it's a really slick moment. Alright, anyway. Apparently it's supposed to be the last time they're going to fight. Who knows? They always say that, but it never is. The Beast then jumped off the top of that tractor part onto Roman with the Luthes press. And this was just a crazy all-out brawl. Suplexes left and right by Brock Lesnar. Then throwing Roman into the steel steps. And then over the barricade. Then suplexing him back into the ring area, trying to do the jump on, but he slipped and fell back. So that was kind of like a Brock tried to do his normal box jump onto the ring, but onto the barricade. But it's already slippery and stuff, so he botched that, fell off, came back down, jumped back over, started fighting Roman Reigns again. That's when Paul Heyman came up and said, "Oh, please stop, please stop, please stop! Don't do anything." Because Brock was setting up a table to slam Roman Reigns through, but that's when Paul Heyman distracted him. Roman Reigns then scooped up Brock Lesnar, got his first set of offense into the ring by hitting that, or into the match, by hitting a Samoan drop onto that table. Got an 8 count, because remember, the way the last man standing match works is if you're down for a count of 10, you can't answer the referee's count, you therefore lose the match. So usually the match ends with people throwing someone off the off the ring, or what do you call it, off the entranceway, and then throwing a car onto them or something like that, or a bulldozer or something. They put them on top. That's usually how it ends. So we'll see how this ends tonight, or last night, or whatever. Anyway, Brock Lesnar was able to get back up, and Reigns put him through another table, but Lesnar got up again, hit a Superman punch, and another Superman punch, and then a spear. Lesnar was able to hit it again. Reigns went for another spear. As he's coming for the spear, Lesnar put him up for an F5, but what's it called? Roman Reigns wiggled out and hit him with the remnants of a table. No, is that what happened? No, as he went for the F5, Reigns was able to wiggle out of it, and Lesnar used the momentum to push Roman through a table. Roman was able to get up and beat the 10 count. While that was happening, Lesnar went and got the tractor, backed it up a little bit, threw Roman Reigns into the tractor scoop, lifted it up, and threw Roman Reigns back into the ring over the top rope. At that point, Roman Reigns. This is the dangerous part again, because the tractor's a third over the rope again, and that's when Brock had a flurry of German suplexes, one of which was directed towards that said tractor scoop, and almost hurt him, almost hit that. So thank God, no one got hurt. I think he then hit an F5. Brock hit an F5 on Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns got up again. Lesnar then got out of the ring, got the tractor, ran it into the ring, backed up, ran it into the ring again, and then lifted the ring, thus making the ring elevated partially, causing Roman Reigns to fall out towards the announcer table. Which, I thought about it now, that whole side of the arena, on the floor level, where I would have sat for Royal Rumble, would not have been able to see the rest of the match unless they looked at the Titantron, or Jumbotron, whatever you call it. That kind of sucks for that side of the ring. But whatever, it was still a cool moment. At that point, Brock went to go beat Roman Reigns, but the Usos jumped in and started double teaming Brock Lesnar. Lesnar was able to beat the crap out of both of them. Heyman came in. Heyman then got thrown through the table, or at the table, and laid out on the table by Lesnar. I think he F5'd Lesnar Heyman onto the announcer table. It didn't break. Then Brock got speared by Reigns. Everyone's on the ground, laying out on the ground. That's when Austin Theory's music hits. Austin Theory runs out and says, "Hey, I'm gonna cash in." So he starts smashing Roman Reigns with the briefcase. Says, "I'm about to cash in." As he's handing in the briefcase to cash in, Brock comes from behind him, hits him with the F5 onto the briefcase, and that pretty much eliminates Theory from cashing in at that moment. As Brock turns around after hitting the F5 on Theory, he gets double super kicked by the Usos, but Lesnar's able to get up again. So Reigns grabs the Money in the Bank briefcase, hits Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar gets up again. So then I think Roman grabs the WWE Championship, hits Lesnar. Lesnar gets up again. So then Roman grabs the Universal Championship, hits Brock Lesnar. Then they start piling on the announcer table, the barricade, the chairs, everything, and even to the point where Roman got up on top of all that debris to hold Lesnar down for a 10 count. And there it is. Roman Reigns is your last man standing, and still your undisputed Universal WWE Champion. That was a lot that happened. That short amount. It wasn't even that short amount of time. And I was going in, I was nervous because no title has changed hands yet that evening. Felicia, your thoughts?
Yeah, this match was really good, and it was brutal where it needed to be, and really good storytelling with this match. That was we're really just gonna do whatever we can to try to keep that other person, to keep the other man down. And despite the Usos and Heyman getting involved, Brock was still looking really strong. So Roman literally had to throw the tables on him, or pieces of tables onto him, just to keep him down. So even though Brock lost, Brock can take 15, well, maybe not in a row, but Brock can take losses and still come out being strong. He's always gonna get the pop when he comes out. But he legit still looked like the beast, because it took so much to keep him down that you really wasn't sure who was actually gonna come out the other end with the title, because at many points it looked like they could put it on Brock. Wouldn't have been surprised if they did that, or as they did, keep it on Roman to keep the streak alive. Well, I guess if you just listen to him, he said, well, I don't know if he actually said it this time, that it's not a prediction, it is a spoiler, that this is a streak that Brock will not break. And if we are to believe, and when they said this is the last time, maybe they meant the last time this year that they will fight. So I do like that Drew kind of made a stab at that during his little promo when he said it's the last time in where were they, in Nashville,
Yeah.
at SummerSlam, at whatever that kid's name's first time.
Yeah.
That was funny. A little tongue in cheek. Pretty solid match. And
Colt.
now we
I think
just
his name is Colt.
yeah. Now we build to clash at the castle of Drew versus Roman.
Yeah, so
Is this again? No, not again. Is it again? I don't remember.
probably because only
First time for the title.
yeah. So this has been pretty. Yeah, because at that point Drew was the other champion. He was fighting Bobby Lashley and stuff like that over and over.
Oh, okay.
So
Makes sense.
yeah. Uh, so that was a great match. I thought it was a great match overall. It was very well, like good storytelling, and Brock is really having fun because after the match he stayed in the ring and like kind of celebrated and goofed off in the ring. That was elevated still at that point. So he's having a good time. He's having fun. After despite stories of what he's being really furious about Vince McMahon leaving, he's still showing some good nature and having a good time. That brings us to the end of the evening. So, Alicia, what's your low point, your high point, and your overall grade?
Low point. It's gonna have to probably once again go to that Ronda Liv finish. Um, it just didn't play well to me. High point. I think I want to give it to Becky Bianca because they kind of set that tone for for the show of being the first match of the card, and high energy of these two really set that tone. And overall grade, I think I'm gonna give it a solid B. While I think all the matches had something to like about them, there were a few that either I just wasn't interested in or just wasn't uh all that great, like the Liv Ronda match. But all in all, I could point at something in every match that I liked, and I think it was just like I said, it was a solid card, and the pretty much setting us up to hopefully we'll start some new feuds and a little shakeup of what's going on with everything behind the scenes to come up with some really good wrestling for during the rest of our season.
All right, for me, I agree that the low point is the Ronda Rousey match against Liv Morgan. The high point for me was the actual final match, the last man standing match between Brock and Roman. And a lot happened in that match. A lot of action, a lot of storytelling, and a lot of fun. So some unique stuff as well. So that was cool to see. But overall grade, I would give it an A minus because going in, I wasn't really interested in most of the matches. Well, not I wouldn't say most. I hate when saying the same match from the previous pay per view happened. But I did like. I had some excitement because it was a big four, so I knew some cool stuff would probably happen. So returns were cool and all that. So I'd say give it overall A minus, maybe B plus. So that was. But now we start a new era, and from then on, I guess we'll see what happens with now officially the first pay per view or premium live event after Triple H takes over creative. So we'll see how this goes from here on out. Starting a new era, kind of like a new season for WWE. Belisha, where can we find you, or is there any other news you'd like to give us?
You can find me on Instagram and YouTube at KingslayerNet TV, where I supposedly do lifestyle videos now, especially journaling or vlogging my year as a first time mom. But with that being said, being a first time mom is hella hard. I guess being a mom in general is. Plus, working full time and watching 13,000 hours of wrestling a week kind of eats up a lot of time. But I do have an actual legit video in the editing bay, so to speak, that hopefully, if I can get some time to actually finish it, will be out this weekend. I have been tuning my attention a little bit more to my Instagram stories and reels. I've been having a little bit of fun with that. So if you want to follow me for some more content or consistent content there, just follow me on Instagram. And then also from Instagram, you always know when I'm posting a new YouTube video.
Yeah, and all of our information is in the description below, so make sure you check out there. As for me, you can always find me here on the Kingslayer Network. I'm not streaming any games as of yet because no game I really want to stream is available at the moment, but you can find us here on AfterMat next time covering Clash at the Castle. The actual pay-per-view itself is on Saturday. It's on Saturday, maybe? Yeah, Saturday, yeah. September 9th. So the actual cover, we'll be covering it on Monday, September 5th. I know that is Labor Day, so I'll probably speak to Alicia prior to the event to see if she has any plans. If not, we'll be covering it that day, but I know if it's the holiday, if she has plans or I have plans, we'll probably move it to that Tuesday afterwards. So stay tuned to our Twitter.
I didn't realize that it was on Labor Day.
Yeah, it's on Labor Day weekend. So if you have any plans, let me know ahead of time.
I have a lot of wrestling going on that weekend as well. because I think there's an AEW and a
What? Not
rumored,
what?
a rumored NXT
Okay.
pay-per-view
NXT's
or
fine.
premium event, whatever, what have you, event going on, rumored, not confirmed. So
There's only one wrestling
either gonna-
brand, and that's WWE.
yeah, but
which
hey,
includes
like I said,
which includes NXT.
rumored NXT. So
No, that
which
includes.
would be fun because they haven't really done anything like that in a little bit of time. So, and then just stick to our Twitters. We'll let you know.
Until then, guys, keep slamming the haters. Be the champion of your dreams. We'll see you next time.
Bye.